When you hear the word groat, what comes to mind? Goat grains? Perhaps great oats? Maybe even college basketball and baseball star Dick Groat? Well, as it turns out, the humble Groat has a history all its own. So listen up while me and my co-host John discuss the history of the groat.
The groat originates as a real type of grain groat. The thing you grind into an oat goes into it. Steel-cut oats are, in fact, just sliced up groats. Just sliced and diced and pureed. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Most people know the groat oat from oatmeal, but the groat is also used in other types of real food. Fuck oatmeal, it's not real food. Such as red groat with cream in the Nordic countries, as well as foods like kasha and dahlia. The most important type of groat-related food, however, comes from the deepest, darkest, post-industrial age hellscapes, the Black Country of England. In these ash and soot-blanketed lands that inspired Tolkien's darkest, fever-induced horror fantasies, where workers would travel from mine to factory wearing handmade gas masks and fighting off pollution-mutated crows and moths, the children and mothers at home would stay back and make the most cost-efficient and energy-producing food possible. Groaty Dick.
What on earth is Groaty Dick?
Well, it's a nice, nourishing meal. It's cheap. You get the groats, there they are, look, they're like the husks of the oat, where you put your meat and leeks and stock, and you've got a nice meal. It doesn't look very appetising.
In the olden days, they'd cook this so thick, let it get cold, and then cut it like a cake. And before he went off to make his shackles and his ball bearings and stuff like that, the husband, the man, would take a slice of this days in his satchel, which is an old gas mask case usually, to work and munch on it. It's true, isn't it?
Yes, very true.
The groat is also the name of a long-retired English silver coin worth 4 English pennies, also known as an 8 pence and 1 shilling for 6 halfpence upon 11sies 8th pennies. In the north of England, there's the saying, "Blood without groats is nothing," and Benjamin Franklin once said, "He that spends a groat a day idly spends idly above £6 a year." Even Howard Phillips Lovecraft once said that a proper collection of 12 to 17 well-traveled groats could be used to pay the patronage of a true Cadathian dream greeter.
Seeing as the groat has a distinctly English tilt so far, we can get into the nitty-gritty, or the nitty-grody, of the groat's most withstanding relevance. The naming of shitty places no one cares about. For instance, the tiny hamlet of Jonagroats, situated at the very tip of the Scottish landmass, with a population of barely 300, only relevant today for its geographical location at the north of the quote-unquote proper British Isles. Just judging from looks, it's the type of town where there's a quiet, unassuming old man in his 50s or 60s who runs a little bed and breakfast and then murders people who stay there during the night, turning their bodies into various little trinkets, like candles and cup and ball games, which get sold for inflated prices at the local tourist bait shop. And the local sheriff is unwilling to stop it because of a promise he made on the deathbed of King George VI.
Even farther from the god-forsaken death pit of an island that is the UK, the groat makes his presence known. In the humble, unassuming land of Canada is the Groat Road, a freeway in Edmonton, Alberta. The Groat Road is famous for being one of the only 2 freeways in Edmonton to not have a highway designation, the second being Wayne Gretzky Drive.
The Groat Road even has a Groat Bridge, which was opened in 1955 on the direct orders of Canada's Lord Protector, Louis St. Lawrence, as an attempt to drive Chinese squatters out of the North Saskatchewan River. Despite being constructed out of recycled Tim Hortons cups and plywood, St. Lawrence warned on his deathbed, live on the CBC, that if the Groat Bridge were ever to fall, Canada would collapse at 6 p.m. the next night.
As you can see, the groat is a great relic of historic importance, and as popular bands such as the Buckwheat Groat show, the mighty Groat will continue to be a topic of great importance in the future. Thanks for watching our video on the history of the Groat.
It's like the final solution, but sexier. Oh god, that's gonna show up later and you're not gonna tell me about it? Oh, fuck. Okay.